Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcast ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the e-commerce minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts Bart Mraz and John Suter. The e-commerce minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's e-commerce minute episode 314.
In today's episode, use Bitcoin to buy a new Rolls-Royce in Houston.
A Houston area car dealership is reportedly the first Rolls-Royce dealer to accept Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash for the purchase of their luxury cars. Tillman Fertitta, the owner of Post Oak Motors, said, "The rising of Bitcoin sparked my interest. Being a premier luxury car dealer, I always want to offer my customers the very best buying experience, and this partnership will allow anyone around the world to purchase our vehicles faster and easier. Post Oak Motors will allow buyers to purchase the luxury vehicles from anywhere in the world using the Bitcoin processor BitPay." Sunny Singh, chief commercial officer of BitPay, said, "We've noticed people prefer to make larger purchases with Bitcoin since it is a simple way to make payments. The partnership is timely with the increasing popularity of Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and Bugatti vehicles. Post Oak Motors has a great reputation for selling the finest cars, and we are thrilled to be partnering with Tillman." This isn't the first car dealership to accept Bitcoin, but it is the first Rolls-Royce dealership. The trend of buying exotic cars with Bitcoin first began at a dealership outside of Atlanta. Motor Cars of Georgia sells exotic rides to stars like Shaquille O'Neal, plus some rappers I've never heard of. However, the most notable purchase was by a man named Peter Saddington. If that name doesn't ring a bell, don't worry. He's not an athlete or a rapper, but rather a Bitcoin millionaire. Saddington sparked the trend of purchasing luxury cars using Bitcoin when he spent 45 Bitcoin to buy a $200,000 2015 Lamborghini Huracan. Saddington explained that due to his early interest in the cryptocurrency, the Lamborghini only cost him $115. As of this broadcast, the price of Bitcoin is around $6,800. Actually, let's check that. BTC price. Okay, so it's $64.20. The currency has fluctuated over the past few weeks and hit a low of $6,100 in early September, partly on news that Goldman Sachs has delayed plans to create a cryptocurrency trading desk. So let's do the math. For a $350,000 Rolls-Royce.
Carry the one.
What did I say? 64.20.
Yep.
Times. No, wait. You go 3, 5. Carry the one.
In this episode, we're mathing.
So it's 4. Carry the one. The 2. So you need 56 Bitcoin. 56 Bitcoin to buy.
Today's episode, we're mathing.
We're mathing today. 56 Bitcoin. So, obviously, this guy is not going to sell 12 Rolls Royces in Bitcoin, and it's more of just a PR thing. You are familiar with this Tillman Fertitta. I did not know his name until I did this story. So tell me about this Tillman Fertitta.
Well, the man owns Landry's. It's one of the largest restaurant corporations. He owns the Golden Nuggets casinos, Landry Seafood, Bubba Gum Shrimp, Saltgrass Steak, I think Morton's, like just a lot of things, including the Houston Rockets.
How did he make his money?
He bought Landry's at some.
So he turned Landry's around.
Yeah, he just turned it around completely, and then it just like exploded into other things. So the man knows how to run restaurants.
Incredible.
Really well.
And he used his fund money to buy the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
And a car dealership. Okay.
Well, probably a few of them and other businesses on top of it. So that kind of works.
Let's do a search. What businesses does Tillman own?
He's also 499 on the Forbes list.
So he's worth $4.5 billion as of 2018. I did notice in 2013 he was worth 2.3 billion, so he's already doubled his money. So this guy must know what he's doing. And he also has a TV show.
He does have a TV show on CNBC. It's like a deal show. Basically, he lets two entrepreneurs from small businesses pitch him on things. So like from bedding to soaps to whatever else, right? For his, hotels and restaurants and things like that. So you basically you kind of go through it. So like a small business can pitch him.
Oh, that's interesting. So the show is called $1 Billion Buyer. It's on CNBC. This is not a commercial for Tillman Fertitta. We just think he's an interesting dude.
Yep.
And we like to pull out these little Bitcoin stories once in a while because obviously they relate to transactions and purchases in e-commerce in a sort of loose way.
Yeah. We say the Bitcoin. I mean, it's end of the day, it's kind of boring story, but other than that Tillman is doing this is kind of interesting.
And at the same time, I think we really need to keep an eye on these alternative forms of payment, especially in the e-commerce world, because we don't really know where it's going to go. Obviously, using Bitcoin to pay for things is not like as easy as just using your PayPal account, but it could get there someday. Once the price stabilizes, we don't know even if that's ever going to happen. I mean, you could be listening to this a year from now and Bitcoin could be worth $1,000 or it could be worth $100,000. We just don't know.
Or $5.
Or $5. And I guess that's what makes these stories interesting, because like we said in the story, this guy Saddington was involved in cryptocurrency so early. He had 45 Bitcoins. And his rationale was those 45 Bitcoins only cost him $115 and he bought a Lamborghini. So that's what gets, I think that's the thing that gets people excited about Bitcoin is the speculation. And it's like, oh, I got in early and now I'm a Bitcoin billionaire, but I don't know. It's still all the speculation stuff kind of scares me, but yet it's like a car crash. I'm fascinated, but I can never look away. All right. You got anything else to add, Bart?
No, that's it, my friend.
All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. Full show notes are ecommerceminute.co. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media @SumoHeavy.